So the other day, I asked Arnold Schwarzenegger what his favorite holiday is, and he said, "Has to be Easter, baby." Oh my god. So that was, I said 333 likes, and I'll do an Arnold Schwarzenegger impression in my next episode. Okay, so we got 377. Thanks for that. I appreciate it. If we get 350 on this video, then I will tell a joke that might get me canceled off of YouTube. How about that? Well, it'll be a little edgier than normal. Today's video, Step 1, I'm going to review Grimoire. This has just been announced. Step 2, hour-long podcast with Scritic. He is awesome. I appreciate his time so much. I'm throwing that whole video up there. We talk about a lot of stuff. We talk all about leagues. I ask him some crazy questions. We have a good laugh about it. He thinks I'm crazy. I know I'm crazy, and that's kind of where we're at. So, Grimoire. The Grimoire is a book. You get a book. That's pretty cool. Gives you a little book. The Grimoire can be used to freely swap between spellbooks. The Grimoire acts as a Book of the Dead. Additionally, when you select this, you will unlock access to all prayers and spells, regardless of area, quest, or diary requirement. Pretty cool. Okay, so let's circle back on like what's going on here with this first part. So freely swap between spellbooks. You could, if you don't pick Fremenic, you could go in the Lunar Spellbook. Some uses from that could be using the Sawmill Plank Make spell. Not really expecting that to be that powerful. You could cast Vengeance. You'd be like, you know what, I'm going to be venged for PVM, even though I don't have that region. That's kind of cool. What else is there? There could be some uses on there that you're like, that is good. It's not like overwhelmingly obvious that picking the Lunar Spellbook is a meta in any way. You also get Ancients, which is really good. Ancients is good for training Slayer, for example. Barraging stuff and things. If you are building your account centered around being a magician wizard build, then yeah, you're going to want to have all the spell books. So that's kind of important in that area. You can swap in the previous leagues. It's a book. It's in your inventory. You right click and you can just swap to whatever book you want at any point. There's no cooldown. You don't have to be at a bank. So in the middle of a raid, you can switch. For example, if you're doing a Chambers of Xeric, Ice Demon is super weak to fire spells. So you could go onto the regular spell book and do some fire spells. And then you've got Lizardman Shamans next. And then you've got the little, what are they called? The lobsters things. Yeah, I don't remember what they're called. I'm drawing a blank. So you could switch to Venge for that. And then you could switch to Ancients for Mutadile. There's some uses for that part. But not that crazy. The Grimoire acts as a Book of the Dead. That's not very big either. A Thrall is very low DPS. I think it's like 0.6 damage per second. And in a league, previous leagues, we were getting over 40 damage per second. So that's a very minor increase. You could switch to Arceus, summon a Thrall, switch back to whatever you're doing, and keep killing stuff. It is what it is. The big thing with this is you get access to all prayers. The best range prayer and the best mage prayers, they come from the Zaya region from Chambers of Xeric. If you do not pick that region, you can't get them. So if you're doing a build where you're not picking Chambers of Xeric and you want to have Rigor, for example, then you'll want to pick this because it increases your damage by quite a bit. It's really just like PVM. It has a couple of skilling uses. It's got some PVM uses. And that's kind of it. So Piety, you need the Kandrin region to get Piety, and that's really good for combat melee smacking stuff. Better strength bonuses and whatever. So that's kind of where I'm at with Grimoire. Is it that good? I don't think so. I think it's fine. It is fine. Like, compared to Culling Spree, there's an argument for both. Like, yeah, I want to get Culling Spree because this gives me a bunch of clue scrolls and whatever else. You can pick that. Or you could pick Grimoire and get your spellbooks. Or there's something else in there. I don't know. I honestly don't know. So why don't we send this over to a conversation with Scritic. He's awesome. He makes a lot of Leagues videos. One of my favorite videos that he's made is he went into the Doom of Moki Hoidle in the main game and fought it with absolutely nothing. Starting from nothing, is he able to clear the 8th wave delve thingy. So that was a pretty cool video. The link is in the description for that video, as well as his YouTube and channel, and go check him out. I'm going to send you over to him, and appreciate everything. And subscribe to me as well if you want. I mean, you don't have to, but like, yeah, thanks. I'm going to just slap the record button, and maybe
Of
there's
course, man. Yeah, go ahead.
something out of our conversation that maybe we might like here, and throw it up on the YouTube. But I'm expecting that by the end of it, I'll realize like I forgot to record, or there's no audio, or something like that. So whatever, it is what it is.
Worst case scenario, I'll send you the VOD, man. It's all good.
Like at the end of the day, it's night. So,
That's true. Is that the dad joke?
dude, it could be. I'll give you another one later. That's not a real one, but.
Okay. That's not a bad start.
Okay.
That came out naturally, by the way. That was impressive.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, my mom. It was, anyways. So.
What?
So, what's going on? It's Scritic from the internet. How are you?
Hello, everybody. I am Scritic from the internet. How are we doing?
Yeah, they can answer in the comments, but it's like a delayed thing. But anyways, so today's reveal was Grimoire.
Yeah.
The good old book. What are your thoughts? I mean, it's so simple. It's just you can swap between spell books. It acts as a Book of the Dead. And it gives you access to all prayers and spells, regardless of the area, quest, or diary requirement. So, pretty simple, pretty easy to understand. It's none of this, confusing stuff like abundance or some of the other ones. But what are you thinking on that? It's tier 7. Nope, it's tier 6. Roman numerals are hard. Hit me with it.
I mean, listen, I will always say that Grimoire is a safe relic because there are going to be certain region combinations people are considering where Grimoire is a great pick, and there's going to be certain region combinations where people are considering where it's a waste. So like what I was trying to get across the stream earlier, and I think we all kind of agree, is that because we're starting in Varlamore, I think we have a lot of freedom with our region choices this year, and you won't feel bad if you do have to either take Grimoire or a region to unlock like a specific prayer or spellbook. So, like, I just feel it's super dependent, and it's really, really hard to say at this point when we still don't know what the combat masteries are. It's super dependent on your regions and your combat style, because magic users who want augury or who want lunars, ancients, Arceus, you might want Grimoire if your regions don't align. And similar to melee users, I feel like they're probably less bothered about this, but like, do you really want to take Kandarin for Piety and Chivalry? I know I don't.
I'm not taking Kandarin unless I'm literally forced to, so.
You will be forced to. Kandarin stonks are up this year, let me tell you.
I like how they started with the like Kandarin Echo boss showing like what you can get from it, and still everyone was like, well, never mind, moving on. Like, they could have saved it for last, and people could have hypothesized that Echo boss drop would be like the best thing of all time. But they didn't. They just immediately were like, yeah, it's going to be Thermi. It's going to drop same things last time, pretty much. I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah.
So.
But this is the problem with only getting teasers, is that we don't have all the information. I mean, we can hypothesize that Devil's Element is back and it's the same, although it might not be. And whatever the fork is, or like the 4-headed trident kind of thing. I got absolutely ragged in the comments for calling it a trident thingy, by the way. It was horrible.
No, I think it's a fork. I think it's just
but
a
let's call it the fork.
Yeah.
The fork is catching on, right?
Yeah, I think it'll just help
like
you
the fork
eat
could
faster.
be huge.
Yeah.
The fork could it helps you eat faster?
Yeah, like when you're wearing it, your eat delay is like 1 tick because it's just a giant fork.
Actually imagine. That actually, you know what?
I'm cooking.
I know you're just fucking around,
Dude,
but that actually could be good.
That's one of my favorite things from Ruinous powers, and that's where I want to kind of steer the conversation here. The last time we had the Grimoire Relic, it gave you access to the Ruinous powers as well, unless I'm crazy. I've got it pulled up here.
No, yeah.
It did, okay. Just making sure, because I've been confusing like Gridmaster with leagues, and I've played every league in Gridmaster and everything, so they all blend together. But yeah, so Ruinous Powers was the one where it gave you like turbocharged prayers, which made it single-handedly, that alone was worth taking for most people. And then getting the access to the other spell books was kind of an afterthought, unless you were a mage build. So I think this looks nerfed from previous leagues because there's no Ruinous Powers on it. So my question to you is, Ruinous Powers gone, or is it going to be a combat mastery, or perhaps even one of our Echo bosses drops a book that you can read and it gives you Ruinous Powers? What are your thoughts there?
I mean, first of all, I've just checked Raging Echoes and we're both wrong because it wasn't Ruinous Powers wasn't in Leagues 5. It was in Gridmaster, wasn't it? And I think it was in Leagues 4 because that's I seem to remember it was around Leagues 4 they developed Ruinous Powers and everyone was like, hell no. So yeah, we didn't get it last year,
Oh, it's so
but
confusing.
it is. It
Found it.
is.
Okay,
But
Ruinous
to answer
Powers
the
Leagues
question,
4. Yeah.
yeah, but to answer the question, I really don't think Ruinous Powers will come back because I think they've played it to death.
Yep.
Like Gridmaster wasn't that long ago. Leagues 4 was, but even then, I think the general consensus is that yes, the overheads are pretty much the same thing, and the offensive prayers are better. But I don't know, man. I just don't think it's all that good
Mm-hmm.
unless you're a, like giga brain PVMer and can like switch between different styles and get the benefit out of all of those like like Glacie's Vow and
Yeah.
all that other stuff to reduce defense and maybe you want to increase your recoil based on Venom or whatever it is. Like I feel like they're just too loose a connection between how and where you would use the prayers that it doesn't feel like a cohesive piece of content.
Yep.
And I just don't think it's coming back. I mean, if it did and it came into combat masteries, though, I think that would be
It would just
good.
kill
I
Grimoire though,
just,
so I don't think it would. Like
yeah,
I don't think it
yeah,
would unless they put it in Kandarin, like genuinely, because Kandarin is the one that you need for piety. Like you need to
yeah,
unlock Kandarin for piety. You need to unlock the desert for ancients. You need to unlock Fremi for lunar. So it's like if you put just the prayers in Kandarin, then that would make sense thematically. Because not only are you getting piety, but then you also get ruinous powers later. So that becomes like a pretty powerful region. Because going
yeah.
from like 15% strength buff all the way up to at 23, and then Ruinous Powers was like 30. Like
Mm.
that's a huge difference when your weapons are hitting, 200. It goes to 300, like something like that. So
Yeah. But the big difference, I think, that we have so far from our relic reveal kind of schedule is that we still don't have anywhere in here a prayer solve.
yeah,
Last year we had Golden God. We don't know if that's coming back yet. And for anyone who's not used Ruinous Powers, the prayer requirements for some of those prayers were like crazy high. I'm pretty sure like unless you had 82 prayer, it's not even worth starting to use the Ruinous powers.
hmm
And I can't remember where it caps out. Is it like 90 prayer for Ruinous powers to
I
use
think
them all, or is it 92?
there was like a 95. I have it here. I'll look at it, but
Right. So
um,
like
yeah,
without a prayer
there was some
solve,
high stuff.
yeah, exactly. So my point is like without a prayer solve still in League 6, Ruinous Powers would feel so bad. Having to go that high a prayer to get any use out of it
Yeah.
would kind of suck.
Yeah, 92 was the Intensify spell, which gives you 50% accuracy in all styles, which is insanely broken.
Yeah. It
Um,
is. It is.
so I think it's done. What I kind of like, and I hypothesized, we were talking about Raids 4 drops right before this league's teasers started coming out. Like that was their blog post. People were talking about it. Reddit was going crazy with ideas. So I was looking at like what would fit the mold of a mega rare or like of a huge drop from a Raids 4. I made a huge video on that. Link in the description. Huge sellout there.
Uh-huh.
But the one that I was thinking of is like, what if you get this like a prayer book from it? It's not Ruinous Powers, but you get a prayer book as the mega rare that when it is active you can't trade it, but then you can deactivate it and trade it. So it's like a tradable. You can flex it, like you can wield a T-bow, and people are like, wow, he has a T-bow. You can flex it because your overhead prayers would look different, and things like that. I was like, and it's so powerful. Like new prayers in RuneScape are so powerful that it should be a mega rare from a raid. And then the whole thematic thing of like it's literally a library, and you just pull a book off the shelf and read some new prayers. I don't know.
Yeah. I think thematically that makes sense, but
Yeah,
like
balancing it is a
maybe
nightmare.
not Ruinous Powers, maybe like do you guys remember, and this is for chat as well, but do you guys remember the god alignment prayers that
Yes.
they kind of tried to pitch?
Yeah.
I mean, I think thematically that fits best with Gothics, right? Being like the balance between everything, giving you all the different prayers. But they went down like a lead balloon. Like I don't think anyone liked them.
They just weren't balanced. It just
But that,
it didn't work.
yeah, yeah.
So what I in my video kind of discussed was prayers, like in general, like the idea of prayers works, but then now it's like, hey, what do we do for them? My thought was we have in Shattered Relics League. Did you play Shattered Relics League, or was that
Yeah,
too
yeah,
long?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So in that league, you were able to combine some relics that made it so if you're wearing 4 Zami items, your magic accuracy is 300%. If you're wearing 4 Bandos items, your strength with melee is whatever percent increase. Like it was a cool idea, and they sort of like brought it back a little bit where you have to feed the imp of minion. You've got to feed him 5 Zami items to make him more powerful.
Yeah.
My thought was like if you had like a god prayer book where you've got like a Zami prayer, you got a Bandos prayer, you got a Armadyl prayer, whatever, you could fit it in where it's like if you're wearing 1 Bandos aligned item and you have this prayer on, then it's the equivalent to like ultimate strength. If you put on a second, then it's the equivalent of piety. If you put on a third, then it's this. So that means, you know, you've got Bandos components in Torva, you've got Armadyl components in Misori, but then you get to the, you know, complicated ones where it's like, well, now we've got like a new use for old god items. You're going to see Iron Men running around with like literally a Zamorak full helm from a clue scroll so that they can get their extra little bonus towards something. Anyways, I kind of fleshed
Yeah.
out that idea and threw it out there, and it was like, maybe this is a good Raids 4 unique. My whole point of this, and we're talking about leagues in this, I want them to like test some of these Raids 4 uniques through leagues. It's like, it's perfect. Just give us like the idea of it, and then we can take it and we can nerf it and make it fit in the main game. So Grimoire not having Ruinous powers could be a red herring where all of us are getting new, you know, prayers or new rewards that are related to Raids 4 anyways through like combat masteries. So I don't know.
Yeah, it could happen. It could happen. Combat masteries, I mean, what do we know so far? We know that Jagex have said they won't be as linear as last year. Maybe we won't just get that standard kind of 3 trees of range mage magic.
Yeah.
And you get a little bit of everything. But yeah, maybe they've sprinkled in some new prayers, some new spells,
Yeah.
some you know, new effects in general. It could happen.
Could happen. At this point, I'm not expecting it. I thought there would be like with Grimoire there would be a new prayer book that was not Ruinous powers. I thought it would be something like completely different just to shake it up. Maybe it would be the god alignments and whatever. But we all know Raids 4 Mega Rare is just going to be big hammer go bonk, and that's it. Like we don't need to worry about it, so we can move on past that.
I think it's going to be a crush thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think that's everyone's consensus. I think Inquisitor's stonks went crazy day of reveal,
Yeah.
didn't they?
Yes.
So yeah.
Okay, so question for you. We've got tier 6,
Okay, hit me.
Culling Spree and Grimoire. Are you taking Reloaded to grab both of these or not?
That is a really good question because I've been saying in stream, I've been saying in videos, we don't know what the other tier 7 is yet. So I still don't know if I'm definitely taking Reloaded. But currently, if I am, I also said, let's wait until we see what the other tier 6 is or the last tier 5, because then you'll have a better idea. And I have to say right now, I don't think I would go back for Grimoire.
Yeah.
I think I'm still of the opinion, based on the route I want to take currently, at least in my first playthrough, that I will probably reload back into Nature's Accord after picking Larcenist at tier 5. And for me, that just solves more than having access to more prayers and spellbooks. For me, that's a better play.
Yeah.
But I know for other people, that is a totally legit play. You could take Culling Spree because you're probably going to do Slayer before you need all spellbooks and prayers anyway, because you might not have the prayer level to even use Augury, to use Chivalry, to use Piety, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I think that's a good use. How about you? What are you thinking?
I'm trying to like, I really like taking like the Zaya region for Chambers of Zarek. I just like Chambers of Zarek. I like doing it in a 30-man mass and just like seeing 8 twisted bows.
Oh, yeah.
I got a double twisted bow last league where I did a trio and
Really?
2 of us got T-bows. It was like, it's just fun.
That's
I don't know.
crazy.
It's crazy dopamine. So
The only thing about mass raids that drove me crazy last year is we did a massive community one, and there was, you know, like obviously when Olm sets you on fire, your stats just start draining.
yeah,
Everyone was on fire. Everybody had their stats set to 1.
yeah.
It was the longest Olm fight I think I've ever done. I think there was about 50 people in there. It was horrible.
Yeah, my day one, like I was playing in 2015 when Chambers came out, and I did like a 50-man mass, and by the end of it, there was 10 of us left because everyone else had literally left the raid. And
Yeah.
it was over 4 hours, and we finished with like 0 points, completely zero, and got
No,
absolutely
no
nothing.
purples?
We had no
No.
idea what we were doing. Yeah, we're like, everyone in the raid was lining up to use kindling at Ice Demon, because at the time, if two people used the kindling on the brazier at the same time, it would delete the second person's kindling. It was just like insane. So I don't know. I just like Chambers of Xeric. There's so many like little things with it, and it's pretty fun in a league to run through there. Plus all the rewards, like it gives
Yeah.
you magic rewards, gives you melee rewards, gives you the best range item, obviously, and I don't know. So my thought was, if I'm taking Zaya, I won't get piety from that, but I will get rigor and augury. So range and mage are sorted. So that's already
Mhm.
devalues Grimoire a little bit. And then I like taking Asgarnia in general. Just I like having all the bosses and all the content in there, like with God Wars and Nex and all that stuff. So if I'm doing that, you can also go do the Royal Titans, if I'm not mistaken. Is that right? Because this is new to this one. Let me pull up this Garnia spot here.
You can pull up. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was gonna say Asgarnia does get Royal Titans, and you'll get the other prayers that are just slightly better than like Eagle Eye and Mystic
Yeah.
Might. Yeah.
Yeah, so if you're taking one of those two regions, then you don't really need Grimoire if you're a major range build. You don't really need it. You could take it. Um, and then like the third region, like it's not, if I'm not taking Kandarin, like am I fine with just having ultimate strength and losing out on like 7% melee damage? Like, yeah, I don't think that really bothers me at all. I think it would be better to take whatever the other relics are. Culling Spree to me looks like it'll speed up your points the most out of all of them. And not only is Slayer kind of a slow skill, it'll speed that up a lot, but also you're getting a ton of elite clues, which there's going to be tasks for elite clues and master clues, and this just completely sorts that for you. So I don't know. I don't know if I would
Yeah.
take Grimoire yet. I definitely want to see what the next one is, but I don't see a need where I would take both Grimoire and Culling Spree. I feel like Reloaded would be kind of wasted on taking both of them. But yeah.
The other thing about Grimoire that I guess I didn't really speak about when I first reviewed this is that when we started in Misthalin, right? I feel like you got extra value out of it through some of the like actual skilling spells you got through, let's say, the Lunar spellbook,
Yeah.
right? Yes, we had a sawmill in Misthalin, but it was quite useful for things like spin flax. It was, I guess you could use it for plank make if you really wanted to. And I just feel like this year, with all of the stuff we've got in Varlamore, I feel like the value's also fallen off for the skilling elements of Grimoire. Like, let's just leave combat alone for a second.
Yeah.
I feel like it's just generally a lower value relic this year because of our starting region.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm always focused on combat. That's kind of how I play the end of the league and where I kind of gather my
Oh, for
points.
sure, for sure.
So
But I know
that's
some
a
people
fair
pick
point
this
for
and
sure.
think,
Yeah, like
oh yeah, you know, like it's nice to have humidify, it's nice to have spin flax, it's nice to have plant make.
yeah.
Like there are some nice skilling benefits from having all the spell books, but yeah, I guess combat is the main thing people will be focused on.
Interesting. What do you think the other relic is in tier 6?
Ooh.
What would be a relic that if they put it there, you're taking it for sure?
Oh, that's a good question. What would be a relic in there? Uh so I mean, I think before you hopped on the call, we were saying in chat
Yeah.
that I could totally see a World Pocket Kingdom fits into that tier. Now I'm not a big Pocket Kingdom fan.
Yeah.
I have tried
They would have to buff
every
it
single relic
quite a
from
bit.
Leagues 5. They would have to buff it, and I really feel like the way they would have to buff it would almost need to be changing some of the resources it gives you, which I just don't think they would do in the first place. I feel like most of the stuff you get from Pocket Kingdom, a lot of people are going to have solved already through tiers 1 to 5. So I'm not sure on that one. But in answer to your question, if there was something at tier 6, like Banker's Note or Total Recall, that would be kind of a no-brainer. And I think that would probably win out even over the Slayer Relic. I prefer Total Recall in there personally, but either one of those I would rather pick. And I think finally, if there was a really strong rune crafting and prayer kind of relic solve combined in that tier, I do think it would be very late to bring something like
Yeah.
that in at tier 6. But even if that was in there, I would still rather pick that over Grimoire. I don't think they need crazy solves, but
I think
I guess that's
everybody would be happy if they could skip rune crafting. So I think because of that,
yeah.
they're going to put a way of doing it. I think Banker's
Hmm,
Note
hmm.
pure essence standing there and like, you know, clicking until your wrist falls off is not fun
Someone in chat
gameplay.
said, "What if Pocket Kingdom gave you planks instead of logs?" And I think that would be huge.
That would
I
be
think that would
good.
actually be huge.
That could be good. Mike, so looking at is there a path that people could take? So if you took abundance, you're not really getting resources like you would from Endless Harvest or Barbarian Gather. And then if you took Hotfoot, you're still not getting resources from anything. So having another alternative for getting resources like Pocket Kingdom, where it's passively collecting resources in the background for you, makes sense. Um,
Yeah.
they wouldn't have to make it that buffed compared to previous leagues for it to be worth it. It would just be if someone is taking an optimal route like solo mission or whoever's rushing to rank
Hmm,
1,
hmm,
you're looking at like
hmm.
what is a fast way for me to get there? It's probably abundance hot foot, and like that's how you get to 50 mil all stats is your that's how you, I don't know, because you're still going to need to do your mining and your wood cutting anyways. So
I was gonna say,
it's
why
a
would you go
weird,
Abundance Hotfoot? What's the
yeah,
play? What's the play
I don't
there?
know. I'm just trying to think like, is there a path where like I'm not collecting resources at all, but I need them. So then you put a relic that
Right.
gives them to you. Like that was their original thought process behind it.
Oh, I see. I see what you mean. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
But
yeah,
it
yeah.
just like it seems like a weird fit. So if in that tier like tier 6 is Banker's Note, and that's it. Like it gives you Banker's Note. Would that be the one that you're taking?
I think if tier 6 gives Banker's Note, oh man, that's a hard choice. Can I just make a statement here that I
Yeah,
think is gonna like kind of piss some people off, but like I don't like how easy Banker's Note makes the game.
I think it's gonna get
And
nerfed if it comes back.
yeah, I think if they nerfed it, maybe, but like Banker's Note, although it was incredible and it is a fantastic relic, I will not have any Banker's Note slander here. But I do think it took a lot of fun away from me
Hmm.
because like, oh shit, I'm planking. Oh wait, I'll unnote all of these anglerfish and brews and I'll just combo eat and I'm chilling. I don't know. I think Banker's Note kind of took a lot of fun away from me.
Yeah.
If it was Total Recall, that would be a different story. If it was Banker's Note, I think Slayer Relic still wins for me.
So, Total Recall or Last Recall, it teleported you back to where you were, and it restored your spec and your HP and your prayer and everything.
Yeah, yeah,
We already have that
really strong.
between Evil Eye and Flask of Further. Further. I,
Further.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. We do, but tier 8? Waiting to get to tier 8 for
yeah.
that kind of
But that's
utility is
kind of
kind of
it. Yeah,
crazy.
it is. Like, it was nice having Last Recall for just doing tasks and quests and whatever you're doing.
Yeah,
But,
exactly. Yeah, yeah.
like, I can see them just not bringing it because they think in their head they've solved it through Evil Eye. You can teleport right to a boss, plus Flask of Fervour. You can teleport back and it gives you all of your stuff. Not teleport back, but it gives you all of your hit points, prayer spec back. And then
Yeah.
it's got a cooldown. Like they're trying to make everything balanced this league, which is a
Yeah,
bit
yeah, yeah.
less
Yeah.
fun, but
Yeah.
also I like it. I like the balancing aspect. It will just slow the league down a little bit. It looks like.
I like that.
Which
I
I
really
like.
like
Yeah,
that.
I hate
Like
I hated
here's
that
a
you
here's a
could
hot
just
take, but
yeah.
like I
Banker's
feel like
Note
a
and
lot of
Last
people
Recall
play.
kind of trivialized everything, and then the ultimate example of
Yeah.
that was the Thunder Kopesh, like just ruined everything in previous
Thunder
in
Goat
Gridmaster
Bro was just
especially, but
crazy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But like I think a lot of people will play leagues. I think this league's going to be different first of all.
Yeah.
But I'm talking leagues 4, leagues 5. A lot of people play leagues pretty substantially for the first 2 to 3 weeks. Maybe they just hit tier 8 and they play for a few more days, and then the fun is kind of
Yes.
drying out slightly, unless you're a Dragon Cup chaser, in which different story. But I think the balancing of the relics this time is going to slow that down, and that's a good thing.
Agreed.
People are going to be taking a bit longer to get to tier 8, not having the same power to be able to run through absolutely everything with ease, and that's a good thing for me anyway. Did you see, just before I forget,
Hmm.
because we're going to move on, did you see some of the tech people are talking about with Flask of Fervour, where because when you go into the gauntlet, it resets the cooldown? People who take Tyrannwyn and Evil Eye can essentially use this to just use Total Recall to its full effect. Like you go into the gauntlet, you reset your flask, you teleport to boss, you have full spec and health.
Interesting. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
definitely, it adds extra steps. I haven't run the numbers. I don't think it's as good as people think because it deals, how much damage does it deal? Do you know off the top of your head?
It was 3 explosions at 60% of your base, which is like 178 at 99 prayer.
Yeah. That's what I was gonna say 200 damage, so you've done the math.
Yeah.
So that's why we got him on. I think it's not as good as people think because DPS in leagues typically has been around 40 damage per second. So like this is just
Right.
adding 200 damage, or you could summon a minion, and that's gonna do a bunch of damage over time. So is it faster to just stay at the boss and use minion, or to telly out, go into the gauntlet, leave, telly back? It really depends on what boss you're doing
True.
and
True.
how. Like if
And
you're
it
doing
depends.
Nex and you telly out,
Yeah.
and then you go and say it puts you inside the bank or outside the door, you got to go
Yeah.
back
Yeah.
in. You got to wait for the boss to spawn, and it does its
That is
animation.
annoying.
Like that's not,
Nex is
you
so
would not
annoying for
use it
that.
in that case for sure.
No, yeah.
I think
But I
Flask
think it
of
depends on your
Further.
play style and your preferences
Yeah.
because you were just talking about minion versus flask. And I feel like my favorite analogy of it so far is that I don't want to sit in the cuck chair, man, while my
Yes.
minion does all the work. Like I want to play the game.
I want whatever is most fun. That's what I always pick.
Yeah.
And Flask so far is way more fun than Minion.
Yeah.
So I would take it, but I'm hoping that the other option is something even more fun than Flask. I just see it
Yeah.
as like a glorified Ambrosia that like the damage looks really good on paper, but it's not going to change too much. Not compared to previous times when you'd go invincible for 10 seconds and do like 300 damage with the T-bow hit every 2 ticks. Like that was insane. Okay.
Yeah.
So we
Yeah.
saw there's a little teaser on the April 7th here, where
Did we?
well, they've shown something weird going on. Like if you scroll down on the spot, it
Yeah.
shows the
Yeah. It's the 3 blank relics.
3 blank
Yeah.
relics and then a triangular relic.
Yeah.
Not triangular. Oh my gosh.
Like a diamond shape type
Yep.
thing.
Square
Yeah.
on its side.
I'm with you. Square on the side.
What are you thinking that's all about?
So I mean, if I had to guess, I think that the first 3 just means that on April the 7th, we're going to get 3 relics. And I think the last one is going to be a combat mastery.
Mm-hmm.
And the only reason I think that is because Sani's already been in the League's Discord discussion saying next week is going to be packed full of information. A pun on words because he spelt pact like demonic pacts.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to start getting all of those next week. So it wouldn't surprise me if they try to wrap up the relic reveals and then focus next week on masteries. So I think it's going to be 3 relics plus a mastery, personally.
Okay. Yeah, I could see
How about
that.
you?
I could see
what's
that.
your take?
It looks like there would still be 3 more left over that we don't have at that point, and they could do.
Yeah.
They could basically do like
I mean,
one
they
per
could do
day
the same thing the next day, right?
Yeah.
On April the 8th, could be 3 plus a mastery.
I do want to know what all these relics are, so I can start like theory crafting an actual path. Because at this point, we're just talking in circles about what's good or what's
True.
bad. So okay, if you had
But
to,
you know what would be crazy on those 3 relics?
yes,
It would be kind of crazy because I'm just looking at the relic list that we have right now. It would be kind of crazy if they gave us on that 7th of April.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it would be kind of crazy if they gave us 1 tier 3, 1 tier 4, and then sure they tell us what Reloaded is against, but then they leave the rest blank until just before leagues because then it's going to allow people to start planning, but then still give Jagex that edge where they kind of flip things on their head at the last minute and reveal the final relic in tiers 3, 4, and 5.
They can't help themselves. They always want to like flip things on their head
know.
right at the end.
Yeah.
I think it will be tier 7 is the last one we get. I think it'll be Reloaded and we don't know what it's up against. So it's like that completely changes everything. It could just be Reloaded against Reloaded and they trolled us.
Could be.
What if there's 2
I think it's going to be
Reloaded?
something crazy.
Do you think they would do 2 Reloaded? Like tier 5 has a Reloaded in it also, or tier 3? So you could pick all 3 of tier 1.
No. If they did, honestly, no hate to Jagex, I think that's lazy. I think that's really lazy.
Agreed.
I would like to just see 1 Reloaded in any league, and that is it. Because I think there's already a bit of a mixed reception. I've seen it in chat. I've seen it in the league's discussion. I've seen it on comments and videos. People don't like Reloaded because it kind of takes away part of the core feeling in leagues of having to lock down a decision and deal with the consequences of that, whether that's like leaving a skill short of a solve, having some relic regret. And I think it's good. I do think Reloaded overall is good, personally, but I only want to see one.
100%. I want like all of these remaining relics. I want them to be brand new that we've never seen before, and that so far it's just been a lot of the old similar stuff. Flask was pretty new, but it is like a rework of previous things where you can see like, okay, they took a little bit of inspiration from this Dead Man Mode relic. They took a little bit of inspiration from a Leagues 3 relic and from a Leagues 5 relic, and kind of piece them all together, which I like. I like that they've changed up the landscape and not just ran them back exactly the same. But yeah. Okay. If you had to design your own relic, what would it be?
Oh, dude. Really?
You can do it for
You're
this
throwing that
league,
on
or
me?
you can picture it for just an ambiguously, like, future league, designing your own relic. Just like, you don't
If
even
I
have to
had
think
to
too hard
make a
about it. Like,
relic.
just off the top of your head, you must have thought about this at some point. Something you
You
really
know what?
want.
I actually kind of thought of something like this. Isn't my answer to the question, by the way, but
Okay.
it just goes to show that we probably have never had a unique thought in our entire lifetime. I thought that Undying Retribution, but a click, you like something you could control. I honestly thought about that months ago. That thought like, I hope it comes back, but like we can use it to ignore certain boss mechanics. And then Flask came out, and obviously I'm
Yeah.
not going to sit there and be like, oh man, like someone's picked an idea that like I thought would have been really cool. They've made it way better than I originally thought, by the way. They've made it insane. It looks great. But that was like one thing I thought about ages ago, because I didn't like that you had to die for Retribution to pop. But if I had to design my own relic, oh man, you know what?
You can even think
I'm
like a
just going to
tier
talk about
1.
one for League Six.
Yeah, okay.
I'm just going to talk about one for League
Yeah.
Six, because it's something we've all been talking about. Is it would be really cool to be able to gather something like bone shards, and for them to have a universal use in like skilling. So let's say it was like a tier 4 relic that allowed you to convert bone shards into something you could use for rune crafting, something you could use for fletching, something you could use for that. I think like some sort of conversion relic would be really cool, like convert one skilling resource into another.
I like that. Yeah.
That would be where I go, because I think that would work really well. Like, let's say, for example, you pick Endless Harvest early and you go into Hotfoot. Like, you don't have that huge fletching boost that Woodsman gives you, but actually you've got a shit ton of fish, and you just, I don't know, turn those fish into logs. I think that would be a pretty cool thing.
Yeah, I mean, that's what Leagues is all about. Is just like, well, that sounds stupid. And then once you actually play it and try it, you're like, this is
Divination.
awesome.
People are saying it's like divination. Yeah, some sort of divination relic would be cool as hell.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I mentioned I wondered.
You've had more time to think about this.
I
You're gonna hit
wondered.
me with
Well,
some five-head
I am
relic.
taking what your idea was. Like, I wondered if they were going to use Leagues to test like drops. They used Dead Man Mode to test Dragon Claws, and then they put them into the game with Chambers of Xeric. Like they've done things like that. It's very obvious. They used dodgy deals and said, oh, like AFK thieving is really nice. Let's add an entire continent called Varlamore and put a thieving mechanic in there where it's AFK. Like, so they've clearly used Leagues and Dead Man modes and whatever these temporary game modes to test stuff for the main game.
Oh,
like divination makes sense. We just got sailing. We don't need a new skill probably ever. But if they're going down the route of another skill, they're going to start trying things like divination, like whatever else it is. There's the turtle relic that people are talking about. Like, isn't there a relic that they've shown every time that looks like a turtle? I played RuneScape 2.
Yeah, there's a turtle relic just sat on that teaser video. Like, what is it, bro?
I played
I'm
RuneScape 2, and the iconic familiar that everyone used was the Beast of Burden turtle guy, where you got like 18 more inventory slots or something like that.
Well, like the pack yak thing?
Yeah, pack yak you didn't see as often because everyone was a noob and didn't have level 99 summoning yet. Because I think pack yak was like over level 90 for sure. So the turtle one was like, people could get that. It was obtainable. It was level 70. So like in this league, are they going to give us a damn turtle that follows us around that has a knapsack on it that you can just store items? and that's your replacement for Banker's Note. Like that's kind of
You're set on this like mobile bank idea because I remember when you jumped in chat yesterday, you were saying like, "Yo, what if instead of Banker's Note they give us just a remote bank?"
yeah,
And I do like that idea. I think it's cool. Maybe if they've removed its ability to be used in PVM,
yeah,
or like you can't use this if you're taking damage.
yeah.
So like
Like a 5 second
Giga
cooldown.
Chads, yeah, but let's say like Giga Chads could still find a way to use it in PVM if let's say you can block line of sight long enough to get items out.
Mm-hmm.
But its main use would be as a replacement for like the crazy buffs Banker's Note gave us for like runecrafting, for example. That would be cool. I
Mm-hmm.
would love that.
I have no idea. I can't wait to find out. Basically,
Yeah, yeah.
for
We're still a
me,
ways
if
off,
I
but
had
we
to
might get it.
pick,
Oh yeah, please do. Go on.
tier 1 relic. Imagine this. You've got Endless Harvest, you've got like Barbarian Gathering, and then you've got like the Usain Bolt relic, where if you pick this relic, you sprint faster by like 1 tile per tick. How many
How have you
people?
said that at the exact same time as someone in chat? Someone said 2 times run speed would be crazy broken. At the same time you just said
That's
that.
hilarious. I'd put it in previous videos as well. Like I've been on this for
Ah,
forever. I
okay.
want to see what it's like. Like we run 2 tiles per tick. You walk 1 tile per tick. I want a 3. Give me 3. I just want to see what it's like.
Do you not think like do you think you're probably like really good at PVM and can probably adapt? I wouldn't say I'm bad, but I feel like that would fuck me over more than actually be good.
Yes.
You know, like because
It'd have
sometimes
to be
let's say you're using a
toggleable.
Halley, right?
Yeah.
You're used to like running up 2 tiles at a time and also having that extra tile distance so you don't run into melee range. Having that 3 tile would put you right in front of the boss.
It would be a disaster to code, I think. Like you'd have players
Yeah.
stuck in the wall like constantly.
Yeah.
Like you just sprint through a wall. I don't know. That's something I want to see. The other idea was like we have
Can you imagine, by the way?
yeah.
Like instead of the classic Twisted Leagues meme of like people being walkers or runners, they're sprinters now instead.
Yes,
And
that's what I
someone's
want.
just zooming by you.
That's what I want.
Yeah.
It brings me into my next question that I will get to
Okay.
in a second.
Yeah.
My other idea, here's the greatest idea I've ever had. You pick this relic, it's a tier 8 relic. When the league ends, you have a 1 in 100,000 chance for all of your items from leagues to convert to the main game. No other bonuses. I don't want this.
I have
This
no
is
words.
clearly a joke.
I have
Can you
literally
imagine
no words
how many
for that.
people would take? People would be just like, I gotta get there so I can transfer my Twisted Bow over, and then at the end of the league,
But do you-
300,000 people play. 3 T-bows come into the main game, and those people literally hit the jackpot lottery. Like,
I mean, it would be both amazing for Jagex because people would end up bonding so many accounts
yes,
for that
it's
chance.
so smart for
But it
Jagex's
would also
perspective.
suck because it would also crash the in-game economy.
But
So it's
like, if there's only
it's like
say
a
like
double-edged sword.
3 people, like say it's 1 in 100,000, I'm taking it for that 1 in 1,000. Like, and I'm just gonna play like crazy and try and make like a 20 bill bank in the game, and then
Yeah.
it's not gonna transfer over. 1 in 100K, there'd be like 3 people's stuff transfers over, and you wouldn't even notice it on the economy.
Thing is, like, someone's gonna gamble the house, man. Someone's gambling the house on that.
That's
you know?
true. Yeah, yeah.
Someone's getting 20 T-bows, making a shit ton of league accounts, and like just farming raids until they can transfer 20 T-bows to the main game.
I'm clearly trolling.
Yeah,
with
it's
this
a
idea.
gambling
Just
addiction.
for
It's a
anyone who doesn't
gambling
know me that
addiction in
well,
this
like,
way.
come on. Okay, if you had to design your own leagues concept, what would it be? So we've got Trailblazer, where
Ooh.
it's region locked, and then we've got this Yama thing in it that we don't really know about. Shattered Relics was
Yeah.
these relics are all broken into pieces, and you can find them. There was one where it was like just Zaya. That was the Twisted League.
Yeah.
What kind of league would you want to explore?
Dude, you know what? This might be the only question you've asked me today that I've already had plenty of thoughts about. But
Those are
I'm
just
gonna come up
bad
with something.
questions. Then sorry about that.
No, this is no, it's good. It's good. It's good to be like you gotta keep people on their toes, you know?
Yeah.
So this isn't an original idea because actually Jagex proposed it in their annual survey.
Okay.
But this is the league I would like to see. Now, I'm not a huge a fan of like chunk accounts, but I think it would be so much fun to start the league locked to a single chunk. Every chunk has a set amount of tasks you can complete, and you can go from there to unlock different chunks. And everyone's like map unlock journey is going to look very different
Yes.
based on which direction you decide to go on, based on how you spend the league task points you build up. So let's say like you start on your first chunk, your first like chunk unlock is one task to unlock, and then that just like incrementally increases, but it's not totally unreasonable to unlock, let's say, 1/3 of the entire map by completing league tasks. I think that would be really good, and a lot of people are probably going to listen to that and think, so shattered relics. But I am specifically talking like chunks, like
Yes.
maybe everyone starts in the same chunk. Actually, that would be crazy. Maybe there's like a selection of chunks and you can choose, and it's in like different regions,
Yep.
and you can slowly like unlock the map from there. I would like to see something like that because I think that's going to be totally unique in a way that is in somewhat similar to Shattered Relics. You know, you have to pick your unlocks slowly, but everyone starts with all skills. You just like slowly go around the map, and maybe like people start to figure out some insane tech to like unlock a chunk that teleports you to a chunk on the other side of the map, and then, you know, I think it just leads to a lot of creativity, and that's what I want to see from another league.
I really like the idea. Yeah, I think there's so much that I'm like, my brain was racing the whole time. I'm like, people are absolutely gonna like soft lock themselves. Like they're gonna like, oh crap, I picked the wrong chunk.
That's the only thing. Like,
and I need
the
an axe
balancing would
for it, and I
need to be
haven't unlocked
done.
an axe yet. Like something like that. So they'd have to
Yeah, yeah,
really develop it.
yeah.
I do think it's almost like, I mean, with the current leagues that we've been getting, where it's region locked, you only get 3 picks. Like I think I think it's great if they just let us pick all of them, and you're picking your regions, and what you could do by the end of it is like, once you pick
Yeah.
this region, you lose one. So which one are you gonna lose?
Wait, is this your league idea?
No, but I'm like, based on like your
Oh,
chunk
okay.
idea, is like that's how they could
Yeah.
like kind of work into it, is like you pick your chunks, but like we know that there's like that the basis of leagues is they want there to be meaningful choice and like, you know,
Yeah, yeah,
punishment. It's like they want to punish us. Like come on, like they want us to feel bad for not picking a specific relic. They don't want to give us all the regions. So it's like, if you want another region, you got to give up one of your old ones. So now you're crafting the ideas of like, I got to get everything out of that region before I move on. Something like that.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
So like, shout out to C Engineer because I think he's done this in a series, like where you start in a certain region, but once you leave it, you can't go back.
Yeah, I think that's probably where my brain pulled that from. That's the
Yeah,
idea.
yeah.
I don't know. This is the most basic basis of an idea for League that I have.
Okay, yeah, please hit me with your idea.
Tier 1, there's 2 relics choices. Okay? I don't care what they are, but when you pick it, you are now part of that team for the remainder of the league. Like, you can't change your mind. You can't reload and
Team
change.
leagues.
And
Okay,
it's basically red team versus blue team. Like, are you picking like the mining relic or the woodcutting relic? Like one of those two, something like that.
Oh, I see.
And then
so like
on
there's
the
a path for each team.
correct, when you open RuneScape.com or whatever it is, the main page is like, blue team has 1.8 billion points, and you know the red team has 1.9 billion points, and this is how many
Oh.
players are in this one. This is how many players are in that one. This is the average amount of points that each player has. Blah blah blah. And it would just be like, it would be fun, like the amount of like fighting in Reddit and everything, like go blue team or like go red team, like something
Dude, that
like
would
that.
be that's such a dope idea.
I think
The
that would
only
be so
thing that
fun as a
I would
community
have
event.
to say is would suck is like if you had bespoke relics for each one, people are just going to end up picking the side that looks better, right? People are going to go through that whole balancing discussion like they do with all relics and think, well, Team Red's relics look better. I think you would have to mirror the relics or at least have them similar-ish.
Yeah, my thought was
But yeah, I
just
think
the
the idea
tier
is
1 relic
amazing.
is the one that locks
Oh,
in your
just the
choice.
tier 1 relic is
All the other
different?
relics are free choice.
Oh.
But you just
Okay,
like
okay.
the people who pick Team Red will have a red cape the remainder of the league, and the people who pick blue will have a blue, and it's just the high scores, the racing, the chats with friends, like it would just be like a way of tracking the league and making it more interactive and fun, and just the amount of memes and like everything that would come out of it would be huge.
Reddit would go crazy for that, definitely.
Yes. Yeah. And I think it's just your first relic is as simple as like, do you want double XP in strength or do you want double XP in range? Pick which one, and that'll put you in
Oh,
your
okay,
house, and
okay.
then now you can pick your relics for the rest of the league. Yeah, I don't know.
Dude, that would be sick. Like a team leagues,
Team
but
v
like
team, yeah. That'd be so
let's
good.
not have PvP in there because it's basically dead man. But
Yeah.
and unless you do have like Wildy as a universal region in that league and people can fight team versus team, that would be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, for sure. I think the team leagues idea sounds so good. You just know whoever's gonna get whoever gets solo mission. It's like race to rank 1. Your team looks like they're winning,
Yeah.
and then he's done his league run through for his thumbnails, and that's it. He's moved on.
Yeah, I just feel like there'd be 100,000 people on each team, and it would be so balanced if the first 2 relics are balanced.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it would be pretty fun. I played Team Fortress 2 growing up. I don't know if you'd ever play. It's a first-person shooter, cartoony kind of game. And like when you load into a lobby, you've got to pick red team or blue team. And if red team has 10 players and blue team has 9, then you got to pick blue team, or you have to wait until blue team fills up, then you can go red. Something like that, where it's like, okay, we don't want there to be like 1,000,000 versus 100,000 here. Like they'll balance it a bit. But if you made it so it's a choice, like, do you want Fire Sale or Banker's Note? You pick which one. That was pretty balanced. If I remember correctly, when that league ran, there was like quite a balance between the 2 of them. So I don't know. I think that could be fun.
I think that could be fun. Yeah, I think if they got the balance in right, that could be incredibly fun.
All right.
That's a good idea, man. That might be $1 million
maybe.
idea.
Yeah,
Sell that to Jagex tomorrow, man. Get on the blower to Husky. What are you doing?
What if the 2 relics at the start, one of them triple experience in everything, but you have to walk the entire league. The other one, no XP bonus, but you're sprinting 3 tiles per tick. Which team are you picking?
You've gone too far.
I have gone.
You've gone too far with this.
Okay.
Would I be a walker for the sake of getting
for
taken
triple
a piss
XP?
out of? I know. Well, I've still got run energy, right?
Yes.
Or am I forced to walk?
Run energy? No, you know what? You're forced to walk.
Oh shit! See, that makes it way harder.
I'm not walking. I don't care.
Really?
I'll play.
Man, I don't want to be a walker. Triple XP though. Yeah, no, fuck it. I'm not being a walker. I wouldn't do that to myself. I wouldn't do that.
You can't. You just
No.
can't. Okay. Do you think plumbing students are allowed to use the washroom while they're writing their final exams, or is that cheating?
No, that's 100% cheating. Can you imagine? Like, is there an invigilator in there? I think that's the big question. Is there someone stood in the washing room with them?
Yeah, they put it. Maybe they could like put a blindfold on them so they can't look at the pipes and stuff, so they don't know like how to plumb. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think you've got to have someone in there watching them, maybe stood by the sink in the first place. But otherwise, yeah, that's cheating.
Okay. Yeah, fair play. Okay, so next question would be, do you think Berserker Relic is coming back as the tier 8? That one was the lower your health, the higher you hit. They would have to rebalance
very
it.
good relic.
Yeah.
Very good relic. Would it compete with Flask or Minion though? Yeah, maybe it would actually. You know what? If Berserker was coming back, did you say tier 8 or tier 7?
Yeah, to me, like it could be either. I really don't want tier 8 to just be a spec relic. I just find them so boring.
Oh, see, I love the spec relics, but I would still pick Flask.
Because the whole time you're fighting stuff, you're just clicking on the spec thing over and over again.
Yeah, that's what I realized very quickly, like back in Leagues 4, was like you pick the spec relic, you get a DDS until you get something better, and you're just clicking orb.
Yeah.
Like I didn't even realize how boring it made it. Yeah. Like just spamming specs.
Just ZCB
but maybe they
changed
changed specialists this year.
Yeah,
maybe
if they could change
back,
it enough.
Changed.
If they could change it enough, it could be worth it. Could be good.
Like if they added maybe increased max hit threshold on special attacks, so that instead of just spamming special attacks, you're encouraged to go for those big, high-value special attack energy spec weapons. And if they hit over a certain threshold, maybe then it restores some spec, but not like fully. That could be a more interesting way to do it, so that you're weaving in special attacks rather than just spamming them, and then still getting massive DPS value out of it. That could be fun. But I'm going to answer your question. Sorry, because I
that's
digress.
okay. Go for it.
Berserker, I don't think we will see it tier 8. I think if Berserker did come back, it would make a pretty competitive relic against Reloaded, because the thing about it coming in at tier 7 is that we typically have to wait until tier 8 to get combat buffs, right? Like proper combat buffs. If they suddenly throw one in at tier 7, that's going to shake up people's decision making around like, right, do I actually want to add to my combat capability, or do I want to go back and solve a skill?
Yeah.
And that will be a real dilemma for some people. So I would like to see it at tier 7 if it does come back.
I was one of my favorite relics. I know it was broken when we found out the like travel speed of like the shadow allowed you to get 4 max hits in a row. Because the part of the relic was
Oh, was
like,
it 4?
it was like if
Jesus.
sorry, it was just your
You have the
first hit is your
tensile?
max hit, and yeah, is that what it was? Yeah, it was like your first hit is a max hit plus your damage is increased for every hit point you're missing. If they just took
Yes. Yeah,
away
yeah,
that
yeah.
max hit part and did the HP part, that could be one way. The alternative is the other way around. Like you will start every fight with a max hit, and that's the relic. Simple as that. So it gives use to
Yeah.
things like full Darox, and it gives use to, oh, piety actually becomes really good because you want to get those extra max
Yeah.
hits. But yeah, I could
See, I
see it.
think if
I
it
could see it as
just has
7.
the like your first hit is a max hit, I think if it's that, which is massively nerfed, by the way,
Yeah.
if it's that, it's got to come in even sooner than 8 or 7, in my opinion. It would have to come in at 6 because like
Put it at
just max
3.
hitting on your first hit,
Imagine it's 3 and
like
everyone's just hitting 20s on gem crab boss.
yeah, everyone's
Let's
running around
go. Yeah.
with their like Sunlight Hunter's crossbow, just one-shotting cows for fun. Yeah, I don't know. That could be funny.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know about Berserker, but I tell you what I think would be interesting as a tier 8 competitive relic, and that would probably be Executioner's Axe
Yeah.
if it comes back.
I know. I think I mentioned it to you. I was like, I feel like that's what the Grotesque Guardian's Echo drop is. I'm gonna pull it up on my side so I can read it
Oh, the
properly here.
Lithic Scepter thing?
Yeah, where is that? What day was that on? Oh my gosh, there's so much stuff.
The Gargoyle Face? What did we call it? The Gargler?
The Gargler staff. Dude, I can't find anything. Sir, oh, I've clicked too much. Okay. It was a staff that like it says it will shatter your enemies, which to me is like when you kill a gargoyle, you shatter it with the rock hammer.
Oh, this is it, the Gargler. Yeah.
The gargler. So shattering your enemy like that makes sense. If it's like a gargoyle under 10% HP, you can blast it and it dies. So maybe this item from Grotesque Guardians is one where like it will kill your enemies under 10% HP. It'll just shatter them. They just explode. They're gone. I don't know. That was my thought on it. That was my interpretation of I could see them doing that.
Interesting. I guess it could be. I mean,
That could be
what
the
were we talking
it's
about
the
the other day?
axes.
Like, there's a few like ideas going around on that staff. Is it a staff or wand? I don't know.
Yeah.
But like, there's a few ideas going around for the Gargler where it's like, is it a new Sunlight Spear? Is it something that builds up Petrify stacks? That was my idea, and I don't think it was all that good in the end compared to that one. But I like the execute mechanic. I think that would be cool.
So that's why I'm thinking. So this is exactly what it says. Charged with earth and body runes, build power with every blow and shatter your enemies. So I'm thinking it's like soul stacks, like a Soul Reaper axe. And then when you click on the soul stack, if your thing you're fighting is under 10% HP, it will just die, like an Executioner's Axe. That was how I read into it. So rather than the Executioner's Axe, you're using your T-bow or your scythe, and then you just whip the axe out and it dies. This is like, well, you gotta charge up your stacks first, which kind of makes it a little bit more balanced. You can't use the T-bow or the scythe and then just blow it up. You got to use this thing instead.
Yeah.
That was how I read into it and thought that could be what they were doing with it. So that's why I'm not sure if that tier 8 is going to be the axes. I thought they already kind of sort of put them in with that echo drop.
Yeah, that could be really interesting. Someone, sorry, it's not someone, it's Bruce. Bruce in my chat has said it's going to be the shatter effect from RuneScape 3, which builds up stacks, and then when you reach a threshold, it does big percent damage.
Yeah,
so
I would be surprised
honestly,
if that's
that like the echo descriptions are so vague right now. Like we need. I'm guessing next week is obviously the big week, right? We have one more full week until League starts. Everything is going to come out next week.
Yeah.
So, like, if we had this conversation this time next week, I bet it would look totally different.
I think so too. Yeah, I think that kind of covered. I had a lot of questions, but that's kind of where I left off. Anything for me, or what are you thinking here? I mean, I'll send you off with a dad joke, but
yeah. Can you send me off with a dad joke? But first, before you do, I'm interested in what you currently are thinking of picking. Run me through your relic choices. Yeah. And like what your idea is.
So to make everyone sad, I don't think Barbarian Gathering is as good as people think, but it is still better if you're actively playing the game. So with that said, I'm taking Endless Harvest. I
Endless
just
Harvest. No, I mean that's a good choice.
yeah,
I don't think there's a bad tier one
because
choice.
I will be doing
That's
a lot
cool.
of
So,
AFKing. So that
yeah.
that to me is going to be more beneficial than like Barbarian Gathering. The numbers on it is like it's not even like twice as good as regular. So it could just
Don't
anyways.
maths me. Don't maths me, bro. Don't make me feel bad about
I haven't done the numbers
like locking
myself,
it
and
in.
if I did, I'd get them wrong
Okay.
anyways. So like you're not gonna be upset with any of those choices. I'm curious with like
Yeah.
abundance. If you like that +10 permanently boosted
Yeah.
all non-combat skills. When you look at the XP on that, like there's gonna be a task for like equip an amulet of fury. We know that. Like that's been in every league.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
craft an onyx
Yeah.
amulet.
Yeah.
That's like level 90. If you're doing that at level
Yeah.
80, that is
That's a 3.5
37%.
mil difference. Yeah.
3.7 sorry, yeah, 37% of the XP. So you're going to be
Yeah.
getting everything almost like 3x faster. Is that the numbers? I don't know.
I mean, that's just one example, but like it's a big one because
but
crafting sucks.
it is pointless if you're going for the Dragon Cup because you're going to have to train your skills to 50 mil all anyways.
Yeah.
So I'm going with Endless Harvest because I know
Oh,
I will absolutely get a ton of use
sweet.
out of it.
So you're saying abundance is not the pick for the Dragon Cup, for the Dragon Cup rushes, huh?
well, it's good for rushing. I don't think it's good for the long game.
Right.
The 10 boost will get you to if you want to be the first person to get a fire cape and you're gonna need like to craft something to do that, then yeah, getting that would be important. If you just want to rush to like the end game PVM and like get your tier 8 relic, play for a few days and then log off, then this like I do think this will probably be better. But again,
this is the tier 8 rush.
Yeah.
This is the tier 8 rush relic. Yeah.
If you can actively play, you're taking Barbarian Gather. I will not be actively playing, so Endless Harvest all the way for me.
Endless Harvest.
Until I know more about things and tasks and all that stuff, I don't know which one to take with the tier 2, but it's probably Hotfoot because I have no other way of training smithing, basically. Like smithing sucks. Agility sucks to train as well. And if I'm doing Endless Harvest, then like that just makes sense. It synergizes pretty well. For the teleport tier, like I don't think Evil Eye is very good, personally, but it could be the best. It could be the best out of the 3.
Yeah.
Who knows?
That's the dilemma I'm at right now as well, man. It's like Evil Eye is the first one they've shown us, but if it's Evil Eye versus Bank Heist versus like Globetrotter or Eternal Jeweler, I think Evil Eye wins out.
Yeah, Eternal Jeweler is like essentially useless because we're starting in Varlamore, and like by the time you get up to a higher level, like it just won't matter. I was thinking like in that tier 3, that could be a stripped down Golden God where it doesn't give you money. It's just like if you cast a teleport spell, it can auto recast and give you XP, and it gives you like an unlimited.
Oh, interesting.
It'll give you like a stack of law runes or something. I don't know. So it's a way of training mage plus unlimited teleports all over the place. That could be a Golden God / Eternal Jeweler kind of hybrid. That was, I don't know, that was just like an idea that I had for there because I don't know what else they'll do. It can't be 3 teleport relics because they've put teleports in with Conniving Clues and Nature's Accord. Like they've already stripped it out. So I have no idea. So far I'm picking Evil Eye because there's nothing else, and then Conniving Clues, we'll see what else throws in there. It just depends. Like it's gonna probably be pretty balanced. Like the amount of points you can get from clue scrolls compared to skilling compared to PVM. Like they usually try and balance it pretty well. So just seeing like what it all shakes out to be, then I might be taking Conniving Clues anyways. If you take Conniving Clues, you're definitely going to benefit from Culling Spree, so that would be a possibility as well. That's probably what I take. And
True.
Larcenist is pretty good. As I mentioned with tier 2, is like if there is no way for me to train Herblore properly at all, then I'll need to take one of Friendly Forager or Nature's Accord just to be able to train some Herblore. Like it is free points. There's usually a lot of points, tasks,
there's loads behind farming and like by proxy Herblore as well, right?
Yeah, the Herblore farming, like put that together, like those are 2 skills that are kind of a pain to train. But also I was running the maths on it yesterday, and TLDR, like you can get 99 Herblore through just doing raids. Like you're gonna get a bunch of herb drops from it. You're gonna get a bunch of seed drops from that as well. You only need like 60 magic seeds to get 99 farming. So like
Yeah.
that aspect, like, it's taken care of. If you just want the level, then that's fine. But if you're going for 50 mil all, then it's going to be a nightmare. Like, you'll need so many seeds and all that stuff. Like, if there's no way of getting it. So I'm
Yeah.
planning on doing pretty much an AFK route up until we get to the tiers where you got to pick the combat stuff, and then I will typically pick like whatever's most fun. So if the flask is more fun than the other one that we got in there, I'm taking that. I don't like Minion's not that fun. I know it's really good, but it doesn't really, give me any excitement. So we'll see what's going on there. That's kind of what I'm thinking at this point. But again, it'll all change tomorrow when they announce like triple run speed. Like, that changes everything for me. So
you think that's coming in, huh?
100%.
Could be in a mastery.
Who knows? To.
You actually do?
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
there's actually
crazy.
running
I wouldn't
masteries
take
as well
it
as
just because I know
masteries.
it would take me so long to adapt to it. Yeah, it could be in the masteries. It could.
Okay, instead of sprinting faster, just give me like an abyssal teleporter crystal in my inventory. When I click it, I teleport 5 tiles forward.
Oh, interesting.
So as I'm running into Maiden, I just click it 3 times, and I'm like bloop bloop bloop, and then I'm right there. That would be so fun.
You would just never get hit by anything again. You just start running away, teleport 5 tiles, range, teleport 5 tiles.
Yes.
Be crazy.
Yeah, they would
Could be crazy. There's probably
crazy
some tech there to like 10 tile NPCs that can't get to you.
Yeah, I think so. I think it'd be a lot of fun in the wilderness too, just messing with people.
It would also be really hard to pull off. Can you imagine having to like select your cardinal direction before teleporting if you wanted to use it properly? It would be horrible.
Yeah, you could do like left click teleports you north, shift click teleports you south.
Oh yeah, could
something
like
that.
Hotkey it, yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, for sure.
So my brother recently had twins, a boy and a girl. He let me name them, so I named them Denise and Denephew.
Fantastic. Amazing. Incredible.
Thanks.
Ladies and gentlemen in the chat and everyone else who might be watching the VOD, can we get a round of applause for Flumpy, please? Flumple. I keep saying Flumpy. I feel like Flumpy's got such
don't worry
a nice
about it,
ring to it.
Scritic. It's all good.
Scritic? Sorry, yeah, okay. Now you say it like that. It makes me feel bad.
No, honestly, everyone that reads my name thinks it's Flompy, and I'm like, damn, I should have made it Flompy. It's kind of like has a good ring to it.
Flumpy's got a great ring to it, but sorry. Everyone, round of applause for Flumple. Thank you, man, for coming into chat today. It's been really fun.
Oh, appreciate it.
I think we'll, maybe we'll get another chance to link up before the league goes live.
100%.
We'll have to wait and see.
If not, I'll see you at the Chambers of Zarek with my triple run speed.
I will definitely see you there without my triple run speed, but it's been great chatting, man.
Okay, thanks so much.
I hope you have a good afternoon.
Yeah, you too. See ya.